Welcome to Canada and specifically the Canadian Rockies.
I can't see anything. Me, I'm so upright in the seat as well. It's like James Corden's
The
celebrity carpool karaoke.
Carpool karaoke.
Yeah. So we landed in Calgary yesterday evening and we're here for 4 nights in total. Yesterday was basically a write-off. We were so tired from our flight, but today we are on our way and driving towards Canmore, which is just around 20 kilometers outside of Banff. And if you haven't seen Banff, I'm sure this video is gonna blow you away. Well, I hope it does, from some of the amazing scenery. It's beautiful national parks. I think there's meant to be some pretty cool hikes there, stunning lakes, so I'm just so excited to go and see it all.
This one's been on the list for a while, and it's Laura's birthday, so we're gonna unfortunately have to celebrate that. Looks absolutely stunning. This place is like the definition of a postcard town.
We've just got to our hotel here in Canmore and we're staying at the Mountain Base Camp Resort, and this is what around 350 Australian dollars gets you here, close to Banff. It's not a cheap place to stay, but staying in Canmore can definitely keep costs a little bit lower, or at least get you a bit more bang for your buck.
We have to look at itinerary on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all very confusing. We just tried to book a shuttle to get to Moraine Lake because this summer you can't drive personal vehicles there. You have to get a shuttle bus, but the website was literally like the hardest thing to navigate. I booked it, paid for it, wasn't sure what I booked for, but it turns out I think it doesn't really matter which one you book to go to because there's shuttles between the two of them. So that's tomorrow, but right now we're going to head to Tim Hortons, we're going to get some breakfast, and then we're going to drive into Banff Town Centre.
So, our nice little rental car, got a Kona. It's like futuristic as well.
This was around 500 Australian dollars for the 4 days that we're here, which I think is pretty good for a Canada car rental. We basically just have a full tank of petrol that we can use. It's a pretty new car. I think it's only done like 3,500 kilometers as well. So pretty easy to drive, and yeah, good for exploring this area. I would not want to do it without a car, so definitely an expense to keep in mind if you're going to come here too. I think it beats Iceland, or it's just different
In terms of mountains, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the best places.
But I guess Iceland's more like glaciers, so.
If you scroll down to the show.
We've got to Tim Hortons, and we saw these the other day when we were getting coffee, and we were like, we have to try them at some point. So it's a habanero sausage breakfast bagel, and we made it a meal with some hash browns and a iced cap, which is basically like a frappuccino. I really enjoy this, but it's quite sweet, so I like coffee sweet, and this is pretty good. I'm still getting into it, but definitely got a kick to it. But God, that's spicy. But definitely better than a Macca's breakfast, that's for sure. It was really affordable, like 20 bucks for both of us. The Canadian dollar to Australian dollar, pretty similar at the minute. So yeah, $20 for both of us to get a meal. It's pretty much how we've been keeping costs quite low here in Canada so far. We've been eating at a lot of the fast food or takeaway restaurants, which obviously isn't good for the health, but good for the bank balance. Up on Surprise Corner, which is this incredible viewpoint of the famous hotel here in Banff called the Fairmont Springs. We literally just stopped on the side of the road here next to the car park. There are a few viewpoints that you might go check out, but I read online that this is where you can get the best view of it, and oh my gosh, this does not disappoint. This literally looks like an incredible postcard. I don't think photos and videos will do it justice. I think we're going to try and get over there a little bit later on today. And down below we have the Bow River, and I think that you can actually go white water rafting on there. I'm not sure if it's this time of year. I think potentially later into summer, because it looks very scary. They look pretty fast, it looks pretty rapid. Maybe if you're a bit of an adventure seeker or have a little bit longer hair, that would be a pretty cool thing to do here in summertime too. A great way to kick off the day.
Beach. Let's go for a dip. That is fucking stunning. So we just got here at Lake Minnewanka, and it is absolutely stunning. There's snow-capped mountains in front of me, and behind me, the lake. Yeah, it's really, really incredible. It is extremely windy. We just had a massive wind gust come through. But yeah, this is amazing. The camera does not do it justice. Apparently this part of like these landscapes in Western Canada are known for the extremely blue water. Camera can't pick it up, but you just have to come here to experience it for yourself. And yeah, we're obviously going to get a lot more footage of some other different lakes that we're going to. It's awesome here. Definitely should come.
Just a kilometre down the road from the last lake we were at, and we're at the next incredible lake called Two Jack Lake. And on the way here we spotted some of our first wildlife here, some elks out in the wild, and they were absolutely stunning. Amazing!
Elk, I think they're like elk things, elk cow elks.
I heard you want to leave this place, but we grew up.
They're staring at us. But this view, I think it beats the last lake we were at. The pines surrounding the lake are just picture perfect. It feels like you're in like a movie that's set in a summer camp vibes, and it's starting to heat up. It's around 16 degrees, but it feels very, very warm. So yeah, potentially tomorrow gonna have to look at a few different layers just to make sure that we're within keeping of the summer months here as well.
Will you go? Won't you miss the ones you know? I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time, as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're...
So we've come into the Fairmont Springs Hotel, having a little walk around. The lady that worked here recommended going down to the Walled House, which is a German-inspired pub that has apparently an amazing terrace with some beautiful views. But honestly, just walking around this hotel, it is beautiful. I think it's around 1,200 Australian dollars for a basic room here, but you can really see the quality and the aesthetics here is just stunning, and it's a full 5-star experience. It's absolutely beautiful, worth it if you're willing to pay the money, and it's a premium iconic experience.
Decided to come into the town in Banff. So I think this main street is called Banff Avenue. It's where they have a lot of the hub, I guess, so all the restaurants, bars, cafes. A lot of people stay in the town as well. And yeah, it's a lot busier than other parts, especially Canmore and even like the lakes that we went to today. A lot busier here, so we didn't really see it as busy yesterday when we were kind of walking around. So we were like, where is everyone? but since we've come into Banff town today, it looks a lot more of what I'd expect.
This morning we're heading out on a full day of exploring some of the lakes, such as Lake Louise and Bow Lake. It's actually my birthday today, so we're kicking the day off with a recommendation from a friend that has been living in Banff for a little while, and it's Rocky Mountain Bagel Company. It's a little bit early for us to be eating brekkie, but we are going to stop and grab something to take away before heading to get some coffee from somewhere nearby as well.
So we managed to get our coffee fix for the morning. So we obviously had the recommendation for the bagel place and we had the recommendation for the coffee place. So we ended up here at Eclipse Coffee Roasters and it's actually pretty good. So for the Australians out there that are obsessed with coffee, this would be the place to go in Canmore for a good cup of joe.
It also looked like a pretty cool place in there if you did want to get some work done. They had some people on laptops sitting down. They had an upstairs area which was closed off today because there was an event up there, but just looked all round good vibes. We got espresso with milk, which is basically a latte, and it's the first place in a long time that we've actually seen someone do some latte art as well. So definitely recommend, if you're in Canmore, to come and get coffee from Eclipse Coffee Roasters.
Right, so we are heading out to Peyto Lakes, which is the first lake on our itinerary for today. Pretty much going to be a day full of lakes. There's a lot of beautiful lakes in this Western Canada area. So we're going to check out Peyto Lakes, then we're going to go from there to some other ones, and we can kind of compare what we think's the most beautiful. But yeah, super excited. Let's get to it.
So apparently those bridges are actually built not for people, not for cars, but for the wildlife that's here in Canada, just so that they can very easily and very safely cross the road on these busy highways. So that's something cute and a little fun fact about here in Banff National Park, and I'm sure probably other national parks in Canada as well. An hour and a half drive later and we've arrived at Peyto Lake and it's actually snowing, so definitely not prepared, but excited to see this winter wonderland in June. Oh wow, we're gonna see the view. Holy moly, this is incredible. Prepared.
Drove to Peyto Lake, realised it's actually snowing, so yeah, we got out and it's like 3 degrees or 2 degrees or something, but it is beautiful. Like the water is, I don't think you can probably see it in the camera, but it's literally the bluest water I've ever seen in my entire life. So apparently that's flower rock or something, and it's from like the breaking down of the glaciers, and it gives that literally bright blue tone in the water. So it is absolutely incredible. But yeah, I'm not dressed appropriately at all. Basically got a t-shirt with a hoodie over the top, so not sure how long we're going to be staying around, but it's stunning. But yeah, we might have to dash off soon.
Literally could be in Finland or something, and I know it's Canada, but I never thought that it could snow on my birthday, and was definitely not on the agenda for today, but I'm quite liking it. And it got us both in there. That was cold, eh?
No,
boiling hot, boiling hot.
We've got the heated seats on now. We actually, those bagels that we bought earlier, we actually took them up there to eat them, but our hands needed to go in the pockets. It was way too cold to be eating that up there, but I was not expecting that. Like, that was, I've been saying kind of on the drive here when we've been seeing the lakes, I thought, like, in all honesty, I thought they were going to be more blue, and then you literally walked around the corner there and it was just like electric blue, like something that I've never seen before. Kind of like when you go to those like tropical Mediterranean, like when we were in Montenegro and we went to the blue caves there, it was kind of like the same colour, but obviously it's freezing, so it's crazy that it gets like that. And yeah, we were kind of joking on the way here when we saw the temperature going down as we were kind of driving up here, that, oh, maybe it will snow, and we arrive and it's literally snowing. So
yeah, that's actually the first time I've actually seen snowfall. So when we were in Iceland in December, it didn't snow. Even though it was very, very cold. It actually never snowed when we were there from the sky. Same as when I was in the snowy mountains in Australia for a ski trip. We snowboarded and it never snowed. So this is the first time I've actually seen snowfall. Wasn't necessarily where I would expect to see it in June. It is Canada, but still. So that's kind of cool. Was a little bit unprepared, but yeah, that's one checked off the bucket list.
I would say one thing just from the experience so far is just keep some layers in the car. Like, you never know what it's gonna be like. We left and it was cold this morning. Like, it was, I think when we left it was like 5 or 6 degrees, but definitely didn't expect snow.
Amazing, actually. One of the best bagels I've ever had.
Yeah, it's really good. Obviously it would be nicer if it was hot.
So coffee really good, bagel really good.
Just so beautiful, but we're glad that we're back in the car. We're going to finish the bagels here and then we'll be driving on to the next lake.
So literally 5 minutes down the road from the last lake, we're here at Bow Lake and it looks pretty big. It looks like there's a nice lodge here where I'm thinking we might get a coffee, another coffee, just to firstly make it through the day, but also just to like warm us up a little bit because we are underprepared. I'm glad I wore this jumper. Earlier I was debating wearing shorts because it was hot yesterday, but coffee will go down a treat. Plunge. Off the car park there's actually a little path that takes you down and it has like some signs for fishing, canoeing and stuff, so we took the path down there and it's much quieter down this part as opposed to the lodge there, and pretty much got this area to ourselves, which is just stunning. Like, it's incredible.
Very big. Good to get a boat and water ski across this bad boy, but yeah, you probably would want to fall off the skis because it'd be a bit cold, so you'd have to ski infinitely.
Around 50-minute drive from the last spot we were at, and we've arrived at Emerald Lake, and this is actually in Yoho National Park, which is British Columbia. So we have driven into a new province, and this is one of the most popular lakes here to go to in Yoho National Park.
People are genuinely canoeing in there.
Pardon?
People are canoeing.
Myself a little bit later, but I believe that this is called Emerald Lake just because of the stunning blue-green emerald lake that is behind me. It's obviously a stunning colour, and you can also rent some canoes. Here as well, it's $90 per hour, and you can fit around 3 people on there too.
It's a bit of a side note. When you go into these national parks in Canada, you have to go and purchase a national park pass to be able to actually get into them, and you have to display that on your vehicle. So we picked up ours in Banff, and that allows us access to Yoho National Park as well within the time period that we paid for. So I think for the 2 of us we paid $40, or I don't know if it's just for the vehicle, but $40 for the park pass for a 2-day pass. So not too bad. And when you drive into Banff, there's actually little check-in counters where you can actually purchase them directly there. There isn't any here when we went into Yoho, so make sure you do it, you know, at Banff, or maybe Lake Louise have it as well.
We managed to make it to Lake Moraine, or Moraine Lake, and as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, you have to get a shuttle to get here. It's actually pretty easy. You go to the shuttle pick-up and drop-off point, and then it's around a half-an-hour bus ride here as well. Yeah, it looks like a huge lake. The sun is glistening on it. It's a different type of blue to the other one that we saw earlier, but still just as beautiful. Wow. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I just love all of the pines that surround it, and the snow as well. It just feels so wintry, beautiful. So we're just taking the pathway round to the Moraine Lake shore. I believe it's around a kilometre walk, so I'm going to try and get away from the crowd. Last but not least, the most famous lake here, close to Banff, and this is Lake Louise. And whilst it's very touristy, it's obviously very beautiful as well. Definitely the busiest place we've been to, but it's got sun beaming down on it. There's people on their canoes taking full advantage of all that this lake has to offer. It's definitely not my favourite that we've been to today, but I can understand why people come here. It's absolutely stunning. And you also have the incredible Fairmont Hotel that towers over this lake as well. It's like the sister hotel to the Banff Springs one, and yeah, I'm excited to kind of walk around and see what that looks like as well. River Loop Trail, which is a walk that you can do from Canmore. We stopped off at the same coffee shop we went to yesterday because it was delicious, and we've taken a very short stroll over here. We did actually want to go and do one of the hikes up to Sulphur Mountain this morning, and we woke up super early to do it, but we didn't realise you're meant to have bear spray with you, particularly this time of year as well. So we decided to give it a miss, just because we don't want to risk being in a sticky situation. So maybe if you are coming, plan ahead and make sure you have some, or you rent some the night before as well. Nonetheless, we're going to enjoy some of the nature. Would have loved to do a little bit more hiking on the trip here, but just due to time, unfortunately hasn't been a possibility. But yeah, let's go enjoy some nature.
All alone again tonight, but you don't seem to forget about yourself. Wondering how it could go so wrong, but you didn't call for help. But let let me tell you about the trees and the seas, how it's all connected. The flowers and the birds and bees, then all the lights, yeah, we're all affected.
So as you will have seen, we stopped off to get those bagels again, which was delicious, and we also got to experience their amazing rooftop patio there as well. But now we've driven back to Banff and we're going into the Upper Banff Hot Springs, which is $17 per person. We've done a couple of hot springs before, so looking forward to a relaxing last morning here.
So here's a reminder to look at life that's pouring into you. And so my friend, let me tell you once again, and you know that it's true. Forget about seeing it or hearing it, in the end you must feel.